What you want is not going to look like what you will get. Because what we want often is led from ego. And that's not a bad thing. It's okay to want things. But it's more that it will still come to you, but in a way that maybe is unexpected. It might come in a way that doesn't look like the thing that you wanted. And sometimes I feel like we could possibly turn it down because it's not the quote unquote perfect thing, but actually the universe sent it to you. After last week's video, if you haven't watched that, I'll link it below. It was all about trusting the universe and surrendering to it and letting go. And today is the Lunar Pisces eclipse, and that is all about surrendering, all about have you let go. And some people might have that stripped away from them in this moment, but other people might just have had knowing, this knowing that there's something that needs to be surrendered and we just need to let go of it. And I feel like that is the hardest thing to do sometimes because we want to know what we will get. And this is the second part of this unexpected and kind of intuitive part two of that video, which I wasn't thinking of filming. But I've just sat with that feeling for a few days, and something crazy happened for me, and something's come into my life, and it's not what I expected, and it's not what I thought, but it's going to dramatically put me on a trajectory towards my business and towards like my career growth. And I just didn't think it would look like that. I didn't think it would come in that format, basically. And I could have easily said no to that. It's come and I'm like, oh, thanks, universe. Wow. Like, the surrendering is part of it, but the surrendering to what you think that it might look like is also part of it. And that's where we lean into control a little bit. And, you know, control isn't just you controlling your surroundings and how you move through your life. Controlling can be, I want that dream and that dream only, and that's the only way it's going to happen. I'm going to go through this life knowing that if I just keep climbing, I'll get to my dream. But the universe always does things in your favor. So if your dream is the same, let's say, industry or genre, but it actually takes you on a different path. I'm going to give an example in a minute, but I just wanted to bring this up because this has genuinely happened in the past week for me. And I could have easily said no to it because it didn't look the way that I thought I wanted it to look. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katarina. If you are new here, then feel free to subscribe and stay a little while if you like the sound of my voice and you like what I have to say. I am a transformation guide. I work with the cosmos, I work with feminine energy, I work with mythology, and I encompass all of that to help you in your transformational journey, to help you become who you want to become and who you were meant to become. And I guide you through that. I kind of have the ball, like the oracle, and I kind of guide you through the underworld so you can walk up those steps and become who you were meant to be. So if that sounds like that interests you, then again, feel free to subscribe, like this video if you resonate with what I want to say, with what I'm going to say, and let's get straight into it. So, like I said, when you see this, it will be the Pisces lunar eclipse, and this is the last Pisces lunar eclipse. Next year, February the 20th, I think, but don't quote me on that. I'll write it if I get it wrong. is the final Virgo lunar eclipse. And then we're done with the Pisces Virgo axis of this nodal story. And this is all about surrendering to what you can't control, surrendering to knowing that you don't have it all figured out, tapping into the creativity without trying to perfectionalize, that's not a word, without turning into perfectionism. This is the flow of Pisces and Virgo, and we need organization, we need detailed orientated projects in order to be able to create masterpieces, right? Just like yin and yang, just like feminine and masculine, we need both. So we need that Virgo and we need that Pisces. That Pisces surrenders into like the flow. You know, you have an intention, you have a task ahead of yourself, and the Pisces lets us turn that into magic, into creativity, into a river. Like, we are able to flow with that when we tap into that energy. Now, that sounds like a load of mystic stuff, which is what I'm all about. But I wanted to talk about, and this actually really does fit with the Pisces Virgo stuff, is like the surrendering to what you don't know, and the surrendering to it didn't come in the perfect way. And this has happened for me in this week. I have had an intention for a while now of I don't really know where I want my business to go, and I don't really know what brings me passion anymore. And I feel like I can truthfully say that here. A lot of people feel the same, right? We all mapped out this year and we don't really know what now we want with it. And the only thing I can lead by or the only thing I can be led by is like whether it excites me or not, whether it brings me passion, whether I love it or not. Because if I don't love it, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life if I don't love it? Because it will never get better from that. And I have done that throughout my whole life, and I can speak about this, and I have spoken about this, of the fact that I did things out of shoulds for a very long time. I'm now 36, turning 37 soon. I love the fact that I'm still alive and everything, but the age is creeping up. Anyway, everything in my life has been a should. Everything. The relationships, the work, the gatherings that I've gone to, even everything felt like, well, I should go to that. I should probably go to that. And it's like, I never asked myself, do I want to? And maybe that should is actually, I actually would enjoy it and I want to. But I always led by what I should do. And that's a whole Capricornian story. And like, Saturn in the first house, if you have it, you do feel this weight of responsibility in the way you carry yourself. So everything, every business opportunity I've had, every company I've started, and there has been many, have all been from a should. And I didn't want to fall in that trap this year. And I also think, I spoke about this before, but I also think the Uranus in Gemini is changing the way like we move. It's almost like, I feel personally, and I've spoken to other astrologers about this, is like this feeling of just can't be bothered. Like, I cannot be bothered to do something that is not exciting me anymore. And then there's also this energy of like, we'll just try it out, see what happens, see what happens with it. And that is something that's happening for me, right? So that was a really long tangent, and I apologize for that. But the reason I kind of went on that tangent is because I have always led myself by what was appropriate for me to do and what it looked like. So this opportunity came this week for me that is to do with my business and my career path and where I want to lead with that. And that opportunity came in a way that wasn't expecting, and it came with a real moment for me to be like, am I declining this because it isn't in that perfectly pretty like package of the way that I thought? Is it okay if I say yes to this opportunity rather than waiting for something that might not come? Maybe this is the opportunity. And at the end of the day, you have to listen to your intuition with that. I'm not saying that if you, for instance, dated someone and you were like, oh, I might not get better than this, that's not what I'm saying. The opportunity that I have been given is something that can help me take my business to where I want it to be taken to. And the way I wanted my business to be taken to, that's what I vision, right? That's the thing that I think of, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't, like, I'm so excited when that comes. But I didn't think about how it would come. I just thought about what it would look like. And the way it's come is not what I expected. And I was so close to saying no. I was so close to like not receiving that because it's not the way that I thought it would come. And I had to pause and I had to take some time with it before I like gave my answer, because I nearly sabotaged myself. I really did nearly sabotage myself. And if you are a Capricorn rising, anyone really with lived experience, but from like the astrological point of view, if you're a Capricorn rising, you really do most likely struggle to ask for help. Depending on your chart, obviously, and what's in Cancer, but that Capricorn Cancer thing of like, no, I can do it all by myself. Oh, but we have to lean on people. We have to be okay to receive. We can't just always give. And this was that moment for me. And now I'm here with the vision of what I wanted my business to be. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for where I want to take this. My whole point of saying this is that there is something that you desire in your life, and the way that it has come, you might not have realized that's the way it's come. You might have said no to something, or you might say no to something that you thought is completely unrelated to the goal in your life, and just pause. Like, I beg you right now, and for the rest of this year and for the rest of your life, but like right now, just pause before you give your answer to something that could possibly change your life path or change your life path right now. This is the moment for us where we release the things that we have been holding on to, but also the way that we have been holding on to it. And that's the Virgo part, I believe. Is the Virgo part is like, this isn't the way it looked. And in order to keep it the way it looks, I've got to keep controlling it. But the Pisces is like, you'll never know what it looks like. So you've done your part now, like you've done what you can, let it go. Just let that breathe and see what happens. Because something might surprise you, but you'll hold tightly on it out of fear, out of perfectionism, honestly, and out of like, this is the way it's been done. This is the way I do things. I don't know any other way. I want to recap because I feel like this is important. There is something, a goal of yours, a vision of yours that you really, really want. Like, you really, really want it. And you are declining, you are rejecting, you are not receiving the way that the universe is trying to get it to you because you thought it would look a different way. I'm trying to think of an example here. But let's say, for instance, you have a family and you have always envisioned that family living in a house with a dog or whatever, like the whole family life, and you like live in it, the quintessential family life, I shall say. Um, you live in that house and like you're just really happy, and it's like, oh, this is what I always wanted. And there's something that comes in your life that might change that whole vision up into something you didn't expect it to be. Maybe you thought that it was the maybe you thought that the house would be in a specific area, or maybe you thought you'd all be living in that country, or maybe you thought you'd be happily married with the person. And there's something that comes into your life that changes the trajectory of that vision to give you the vision that you actually desired. But because we're leaning into that Virgo-ness, I know that's not a word, but because you're leaning into that, you can't see clearly. There's an opportunity here, and there's something that's coming for us, and it is showing our blind spots. And that's this whole, if it hasn't already, from like up to today, it will show you blind spots, and then you cannot go back from that. Once you learn, you cannot unlearn. So there's something that is making it clear for us. See, this is what we were telling you to surrender to, because there's something really beautiful on the other side. And that's all that we can do, is surrender to the picture that we might have in our minds of what that thing would look like, what our goal, what our future would look like, what our relationship would look like. Because the universe is giving you opportunities that you keep rejecting, that you keep declining or not receiving again, because you're like, that's not what I thought I would have in my life. That's not the way I thought it would come. Once I have this, then I can do that. But the universe isn't linear. It's not like, okay, well, build your ladder first and then we can help. It's like, keep doing you, we'll sort out the rest. There are two things that we don't have control of: the how and the when. All we have is the why. Why are we doing certain things? And again, there is a vision that you have had, there is a goal, there is a dream, there is a desire that you have had in your life. And you are holding tightly onto the way it looks, or the way you want it to look, or the way you thought it would look. And you're declining the things that the universe is sending to you in order to make that reality come true, because it's not what it looked like, or it's not what you thought it would look like. I hope that translates in the way that I want it to translate. But it's just something that I thought of because it's literally happening to me right now. It's happening for me right now. Is there's something that I desire, and it's come in a different format. And I could have easily declined that, because I'm like, no, that's not the way I thought it would come. And that's the Pisces, that's the surrender. So yeah. So content will be coming out in September, and you'll see little bits of updates and things like that. So if you haven't already, join my email list, and you can get like up to date on what's happening, and you can get first dibs at anything that I put out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.